Hi, my name is Catherine. This story was tough for me, but I'm glad things turned out the way they did. I almost married into a family that judged me, but thankfully, I got out just in time. Here's how I escaped a bad marriage. I was a shy and quiet person in school and didn't date much, but in college, I met Brooks. He was studying medicine, and I was studying architecture. We met at a cafe, and I liked him right away because he was easy to talk to. 2 months later, we started dating. Brooks was smart, ambitious, and had big dreams. He came from a hardworking, middle-class family, just like me. I thought we had a lot in common, but I didn't realize how judgmental he was until I introduced him to my dad. My dad, Bruce, is a plumber. One Christmas, my mom was away for work, so I invited Brooks over for dinner. Everything seemed fine until Brooks found out what my dad did for a living. Brooks looked surprised. "You're a plumber? But you live in such a nice house." My dad explained that the house came from my mom's inheritance and that plumbing is honest but tough work. Brooks seemed uncomfortable and made a comment about how hard it must be to make a living that way. I felt the tension, but I didn't say anything. Later, when he saw I had bought my dad a new iPhone, he looked even more bothered. After Brooks left, my dad told me he felt Brooks didn't like him. He thought Brooks had assumed I came from a wealthy family. I was confused. I had never lied about my background. Before I could talk to Brooks about it, he invited me to meet his family. I hoped it would go better. When I got there, I immediately felt unwelcome. His dad, Finn, was friendly, but his mom, Sophia, was cold and distant. At dinner, she turned to me with a sharp smile and said, "So, I heard your dad is a plumber." "Yes," I answered, trying to stay calm. "How sad for you," she replied, looking down on me. "It must be hard growing up with a loser father who can barely support his family." I was furious. "My dad works hard, and we have a good life. He's not a loser," I shot back. Finn tried to stop her, but Sophia kept going. She made it clear she didn't think I was good enough for her son. Brooks just sat there, uncomfortable, but didn't defend me. That was all I needed to see. When I got back home, I told Brooks not to contact me for a while. His family's behavior, especially his mom Sophia's, really upset me. Brooks didn't stand up for my dad, and that hurt. A few days later, we met at our usual cafe. I took a deep breath and said, "Brooks, I don't like how you and your mom talked about my dad. It was really disrespectful." Brooks sighed. "I'm sorry, Catherine. My mom is old-fashioned and cares a lot about family status. She's just looking out for me." "I get that, but you never defended my dad. You even acted rude when you met him," I pointed out. Brooks looked uncomfortable. "I was just surprised. I thought you came from a better family," he admitted. "My family is great," I said firmly. "If you're going to judge them, then we should break up." Brooks was shocked. "No, please, I'll try to be better. Don't end this over a misunderstanding." I was still angry, but I could tell he wanted to change, so I gave him another chance. I made it clear, if he disrespected my family again, I was done. For a few months, things were fine, but Brooks barely visited my family. Instead, he always wanted me to spend time with his dad, Finn, was nice, but Sophia was constantly criticizing me. "If you want to be with my son, you need to change," she told me. "Brooks has a prestigious career, and your middle-class habits won't help him." I stayed calm and replied, "I manage my money well. What's wrong with my lifestyle?" She sneered. "Being cheap might have worked for your parents, but not for Brooks. Our standards are higher." Her insults bothered me, but I ignored them. Brooks wasn't rude to me anymore, so I let it go. I tried to talk to him about Sophia's behavior, but he always said, "I can't control what my mom thinks." I didn't push it. Brooks never met my mom. He was always busy, and after becoming a doctor, he had even less time, but I supported him, knowing his job was stressful. 3 years later, he proposed. I was thrilled. The ring was perfect, and I immediately said yes. My parents were happy too. But his family's reaction was different. When Brooks told them the news, his dad, Finn, was excited. "That's great. When's the engagement party?" I smiled. "Thank you, Finn. I'm happy to join your family." Then there was silence. "Mom?" Brooks asked. Sophia finally said, "We need to talk. See me tomorrow." Then she hung up. The next day, Brooks met with her. When he came back, he looked upset but refused to tell me what happened. Sophia also stopped answering my calls. Despite this, Brooks and I started planning our wedding. He had just gotten a great new job with a big salary increase, and we were excited. Then one day, Brooks called me. "Catherine, we need to talk," he said seriously. When we met, he looked distraught. "I'm so sorry," he said. "I don't think we should be together. We need to call off the engagement." I was shocked. What's going on? What did I do?" "You didn't do anything," he said, avoiding my eyes. "I just think this is for the best." I could feel the truth. "This is about my family, isn't it?" Brooks sighed. "I love you, but I have to think about my future." I stood up. "Save it, Brooks, we're done." Then I walked away. I cried for days, but my parents comforted me. My dad felt guilty. "This happened because of our background," he said sadly. That hurt the most. A week later, Sophia showed up at my house. She looked smug as she walked in. "What do you want, Sophia?" I asked. I stared at Sophia, trying to stay calm. "You have no business being here." "I'm here for the engagement," she said coldly. "My son will need it when he proposes to a better woman." "Give it back," I said, my anger rising. "Why are you here?" Sophia smirked. "I wanted to see you one last time. Your parents didn't teach you well. It was ambitious of you to think you could be a doctor's wife. My son needs more than a plumber's daughter." "And I called him to make him see reason," she added. "So that's why he broke up with me?" I said, heart tight. "You think he's too good for me?" "Of course," she said proudly. "I made him do it. He was ready to lower his standards. I had to make him see that he needs someone better for his future. He'll become famous at the new hospital, and you're not good enough anymore." I took a deep breath. "I'm fine with it. I don't need someone judgmental like him. I hope he finds someone who meets his standards." "Oh, he will," Sophia said, condescending. "I'll help him find someone. Soon, he'll forget you and marry one of the hospital board's daughters." Just as she spoke, my mom walked in. I had planned this moment carefully. My mom works at the hospital, and she was furious when she found out what Brooks had done. Now, she was here to help me get revenge. Sophia turned pale when she saw my mom. She knew who she was. Mom spoke calmly but firmly. "I'm Freya. You must be Sophia. My daughter has told me a lot about you." Sophia was stunned. "Daughter? I didn't know." "Yes, the one your son dumped recently," Mom added, her tone cold. "I'm sure it must have been tough for him to date a plumber's daughter." Sophia stumbled over her words. "He didn't mean it that way. I didn't know you were Catherine's mom." "That's because he never bothered to meet me," Mom said, her voice sharp. "He didn't respect our family enough to make the effort." Sophia's face drained of color. "If Brooks knew, he wouldn't have ended it." "Take the ring," Mom said, handing it back to Sophia. "Maybe now Brooks will realize his mistake." I stepped in. "You mean you'll tell him I'm perfect for him again, and I'll take him back?" I shook my head. "My dad wouldn't allow it." Sophia tried to coax me. "Please, don't be harsh. You love him, right? You can forgive him. He was just being stupid." Mom wasn't having it. "Catherine is better off without someone like him. Now, I need you to pass on a message." Sophia was visibly shaken. "What message?" Mom smiled coldly. "Tell him the hospital is rescinding his job offer. He can look for work elsewhere." Sophia's face went white. "No, please, he's a great doctor. He'll be an asset." Mom shook her head. "Brooks might be a good doctor, but he's not a good person. We don't hire people who look down on others. We have a morality clause." Sophia nearly cried. "Please, Catherine, talk to your mom. He's already left his old job. Don't do this." I crossed my arms. "She makes her own decisions, Sophia." Mom handed Sophia the ring. "Here, take it. Now leave." Sophia begged to keep the ring, but Mom was unmoved. Finally, she left, defeated. Later, Brooks bombarded me with calls, asking me to convince my mom to change her mind. He accused me of ruining his career. I simply replied, "You did this to yourself." I told all my mom's friends what happened. They were appalled by Brooks's actions. And soon, everyone in the industry knew. He was blacklisted by the top hospitals. And Sophia and Brooks harassed me nonstop, trying to get me back. Even Finn, Brooks's dad, called to apologize for his family. I told Finn, "You deserve better." Months later, Brooks and Sophia stopped contacting me after I threatened to sue them for harassment. Finn told me he had kicked them out of his house, and they moved away. Brooks found another job, but it didn't pay well, and he still had to support his mother. Now, Brooks regrets everything. Meanwhile, I'm living my best life. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you liked this. See you in the next video.